Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to Pod on the Mountain, the Smoky Mountain Wrestling podcast. And we are on our second episode this week, covering the month of March of 1992, the second month of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. The brothers Max in here with you. I'm Nate. That's Aaron.
Hello, everybody.
And we might be joined by Chad Austin here shortly. I'm not sure, but regardless, we're going to get started here. And the month of March has a little more forward mobility than the month of February did. Obviously, the promotion's starting out. You can't expect it to be, fucking 60 miles an hour right off the bat. You've got to build some things, and that's what they're doing in these first couple of months.
And go
ahead, Aaron.
I was just gonna say, you can't just automatically this guy doesn't like that guy. They have a little bit of that, but
you have to establish characters. You have to establish the whys,
Yeah. And just a little hitch of the giddy up from last week, which is our first episode. We neglected to finish out the first month of Smoky Mountain's existence because we forgot to talk about February 29th, 1992. And honestly, it was because we like to keep our shows to a somewhat reasonable length, 2 hours. And we just
that's what I was going to say. And
we got off the rails on some stuff.
In our defense, February did have 5 episodes instead of 4, so that probably would have been another half an hour of show.
And like I said, we kind of were feeling our groove on that. So real quick, we'll just bust through that if that's all right with you.
Yeah.
Our inaugural announce team, Bob Cottle and Dutch Mantell, hype the upcoming show. Carl Stiles is now with Dutch Mantell. He's his heavy. He's protecting him from primetime Brian Lee. Carl Stiles, I don't know, Nate, if you remember this, but he's wearing a gigantic hat. It's one of the biggest cowboy hats I've seen a man wear ever. So Carl Stiles is there.
With his 20-gallon hat.
Yes. The opening match is Barry Horowitz versus Nitro Danny Davis, which Danny Davis wins with a reverse small package. Then we get a promo from Jimmy Golden. He's just talking smack about Robert Gibson because they'll be facing off later on tonight. And then we get a recap of the Fultons, Horner, Koloff, Golden situation from last week. And then we get a promo from the Fultons. They're looking for a 6-man tag team partner. And just so you guys know, there was there was a big brawl last week between the Fultons, Tim Horner and Koloff and Golden. So that was how that show ended. And Bob Armstrong is showing that he is a fair and righteous commissioner because he fines everybody. All the brawlers from last week were fined $500 each. So he even fined the baby faces, showing that he's fair. And then Bob says that he told Brian Lee that he cannot touch Dutch Mantell if he's doing his commentary job. That was like I'm not saying Jim Cornette stole it or whatever, but that's like an old Mid-South thing that I always they did. If you're in the booth tonight, you can't get involved, even if it's your most hated rival, you can't get involved in it. Right. And if that guy's doing commentary, you can't attack him or there's a big fine on it. So it's a good way of explaining why Brian Lee just doesn't come out and attack Dutch, and why Dutch doesn't attack Brian Lee. So
right.
I like when they give logic to something.
Yeah, God forbid.
Yeah. And then we get a promo from the master of promo, Ron Wright. he reads a letter from a fan putting him over and talking about how great he is and everything. And now Ron Wright is a good Christian, and um, since he can't find a charge yet, he wants some fans to send him some money, and he has like a PO box and everything all set up. So if you feel that you want to help the great Christian, honest Ron Wright, you can send him money to his PO box, which is awesome.
I do have on a note that I had from the episode. Um, he said that guy sent me this here $5. I don't know. It's that I had to make note of that.
Yep, $5.
This here $5.
And from what I understand, in reality, Ron Wright donated that money to charity. So we're just gonna put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then we get Tommy Angel versus Hollywood Bob Holly. Ron Wright rolls out to scout Bob Holly in the match, which Bob Holly wins with his star drop, which is a top rope leg drop. And then Paul Orndorff, um, who right now they're using as a babyface, he says he wants to be Smoky Mountain champion. And even though he is a babyface, he's still upset about the fact that his pile driver has been banned. Because if you guys don't know, the pile driver is illegal in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Then primetime Brian Lee cuts a promo on Dutch Mantel. And Dutch Mantel is supposed to be wrestling in the next match, but he says he's sick and he can't wrestle. So instead, Carl Styles takes his place. Which he wins with a power slam. And then Brian Lee challenges Dutch Mantel, but ends up getting into a brawl with Carl Styles, and that has to be pulled apart. Sorry, I'm not trying to bust all through this, but you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jim Cornette cuts a promo on his mystery team that's going to be coming to Smoky Mountain Wrestling. And then we get our main event. It's Jimmy Golden versus Robert Gibson. Dutch Mantel points out that Robert Gibson is more of a tag team wrestler than singles. The Koloffs show up to support Jimmy Golden as the match goes on. Gibson hits his bulldog, which brings in the Koloffs for a DQ. And post match, Tim Horner and Hector Guerrero run out to save Robert Gibson. So that's the way that went. And then at the end, Bob Caudle is going to sum up what we just saw, and he interviews Bob Armstrong with Brian Lee and Robert Gibson. And Armstrong tells the boys to fight fire with fire. And Brian Lee finds out that he is facing Carl Styles next week, and he's looking forward to it. So that's how the month of February ended.
That was the episode we did not cover last week. We didn't do our due diligence, but thank you, Aaron, for recapping it.
You're welcome. Basically, the show is just establishing the Fultons, Golden, sorry, it was basically getting the Fantastics and Brian Lee over as their big baby faces, and the fact that the Koloffs, Gibson, or the Koloffs and Golden are like, the big dads right now.
So we start the month of March with the episode from March the 7th, 1992.
Oh, go
ahead.
I was gonna say, it's a little different, but I'm bringing it over because we're doing a whole month. So I found the 2 songs and the 2 movies. So I'm gonna do that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Every time we record. So if you guys don't know, when we did our Clash series, I did like the way back because it kind of helps set the tone for kind of what was going on in pulp culture of the top 2 movies and the top 2 songs. So instead of doing like, that day, I just decided I'll find the top 2 movies and the top 2 songs of March 1992. If you want to guess, you can. If not, I'll just bust them out.
I don't have any guesses right now. I wasn't prepared. I didn't get to think about it. So you can go ahead. We'll
Okay.
just do it. Next time I'll remember, so I'll be able to think about it. And just so you know, if you didn't listen to the Clash of Champions series, I like to have fun with it. I do not cheat, folks. I don't Google it or
Yeah.
anything. I just try to guess, but I wouldn't have even known, or I wouldn't have been able to think about it. So go ahead.
All right. The top two movies. Number two is Basic Instinct. There's only one thing I remember about that movie. Um, and the number one movie is Wayne's World. That was the top movie in March 1992. Great
I
fucking
don't
movie.
I don't even have a gun, let alone many guns, or making the necessity for a rack. Just
Game on.
pralines and dick.
It's like pralines and dick. Slow down, guys. I fell in my keys.
it's a
Uh,
great it's a great movie.
it's like a new pair of underwear. First, they're all tight and restricting, but then they become part of you. But the top two songs, number two, "Tears in Heaven" by Eric Clapton, and the number one song, "Just to Be with You" by Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
Good lord. So there you have it, people.
Just to
Now we'll
put
get
it
into some
like Aaron
wrestling.
like Aaron said, just to put you in perspective what's going on in pop culture at the time.
Yeah, Dutch Mantel might have rolled up to the
I pictured
Knoxville
I
arena
pictured Du-
listening to Mr. Big.
I pictured Dutch Mantel and Carl Stiles rolling up doing Bohemian Rhapsody. But yeah, this episode of the show, March 7th, 92. The show is taped in Knoxville. We open up with Bob Caudle and Dutch Mantel, of course, and Carl Stiles is there.
Yes.
Excuse me, as is Rip Rogers. And Carl Stiles is actually going to be the one to face Brian Lee this week, not
Yes.
Dutch Mantel. Carl Stiles to me looks like a if you inflated Bill Dundee, but
Yeah, and I like. It's funny the fact that they bring this guy in and they are automatically. I don't know if you noticed this, but they're automatically like like just presenting him as being kind of a simpleton.
yeah, kind of a moron. Well, I mean, even when Dutch Mantel introduced him a few weeks ago, he's like, "I found this guy. He ain't too bright, but he's tough. I found him in some bumfuck town in
Yeah,
fucking Virginia or whatever." Yeah.
some big simpleton that Dutch Mantel's taking control of.
Um.
And Mr. Rip Rogers says that he's going to do um 100 hours, an hour's worth of free squats because he's
Yes.
the most in shape, fit, cardiovascular trained wrestler in the Smoky Mountain.
And I don't know if you noticed. Did you notice during this episode? I'm sure you did. You're like me. You noticed the little things. But during this taping of the show, these whatever the taping is in this Knoxville arena, there is a wild lady in the front row
Yeah.
making faces, doing dances. I was always like, I put down in my notes here, I'm going to keep an eye out on this lady throughout the show. She's
Yes.
not she's not really a wrestling granny. She's more like a middle-aged type lady, but she is a wild one. But anyway, but yeah, Rip Rogers is going to do these squats throughout the entire hour of the show. So that's the gimmick for him for this evening. It's going to result in
Some
something later on.
chicanery.
Yeah, some chicanery later on by an idiot. But anyway, the first match on this episode is Hollywood Bob Holly going over Joey Maggs. Um, fine.
Yes.
And Bob Holly's got the first couple episodes he didn't have the mustache, but now he's got kind of a little mustache going on here.
Yeah. And he's gonna get some crazy glasses in a little bit. Um, Bob was really good, man. Like he's got two like I don't want to say it's like Scott Steiner or whatever, but he's almost got two different like working styles of his career. But like when he
Hmm.
was younger, like here, he was a fucking and he was never bad. Don't get me wrong.
Right,
Like
right.
I've always liked Bob, but like dude was a fucking worker, man.
Hmm. I mean, you can say people can say what they want about the gimmick, the race car driver gimmick. Like he made a really good tag team with Sean Waltman in the WWF.
Yeah.
Um, um, and when he was used to, he was usually the guy that beat the jobbers and then jobbed for the big names. But when he was put in either position, he could have a good match with an enhancement, or he could be a good enhancement for a big name.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a great worker. I'd never take anything away from Bob Holly. And then, like you said, the second part of his career, he changed his style, became hardcore Holly, and did the same or didn't do the same thing, did a different thing, but did it really good too. You know, and he's the guy that went to Vince McMahon and said, "You should put the belt on me and let me beat everybody.
Yeah. You got an I got an idea. Just put the fucking belt on me.
Let me
What do you
beat
think of
everybody."
that? I just beat the shit out of everybody. I'll make you money.
But yeah, Bob goes over. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like you said, Bob, he beats Jumpin' Joey Maggs, and then Bob Cottle tries to interview Tim Horner, but they get interrupted by Rip Rogers, and Horner says he'll bet Rogers $500 that he can't free squat for the entire hour.
I think we should say that every time that Tim Horner gets interviewed, not because someone interrupts him, but just because it's a Tim Horner interview. We should say Bob
Yes,
Cottle attempts to interview.
yes, he tried, or Tim Horner tries to do an interview.
Right.
Fucking Jay
I give you
Brown.
I give you $500. Ah, shit.
The thing about
Uh,
Tim Horner too is like personality wise, he's fucking wet white bread. Like he wasn't a bad wrestler though. I mean, bell to
no,
bell,
wasn't the
he's
shits.
a
No,
sound wrestler. But yeah, just personality wise and everything else, he's fucking
it
trash.
was a tree stump.
Yeah, he fucking sucked.
Well, the next match is a enhancement match. It's Tommy Angel versus a guy that didn't suck, Terry Bam Bam Gordy.
Yes.
Um, I my time frame is off as far as I was thinking. Gordy, they don't ever bring him in during. Do they ever bring him in during in WCW during this time's incarnation of the Freebirds with Hayes and Garvin? I can't remember.
No, this was when he was with Dr. Death.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 90. Okay. Yeah. I had my time frame all screwed up in my head. I don't know why, but now that you mention that, yeah, he's doing the shit in Japan with Dr. Death. And then later on in the
Take him
year,
over.
yeah, WCW. Okay. Okay. Now because I was just thinking in my head, I was like, what is like, because
No, I'm
Gordy's not
sorry. Were you?
around.
I'm sorry. Did you mean that they were they bringing him into Smoky Mountain?
No, 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 no. I
Oh,
was talking about WCW.
oh yeah, they didn't do that.
I could not remember, and I just was wondering because I'm like, I don't think he's around very long here. He's just here in the beginning of the promotion, and I was thinking
Yeah.
in my head, and I just got lost in my brain. Usually, I'm good with my memory, but I was like, what the fuck was Gordy doing around this time? But yeah, okay, the Doctor Death tag team, yes.
Yeah.
But he goes over
All right.
here over Tommy Angel.
Yes. And then he cuts a promo that he can't be beat, and he's gonna be the Smoky Mountain Heavyweight Champion.
I like and again, we talked about it on the last episode. but because we're not watching some WWE edited version. Number one, it's got the original music. I also like seeing the like, Smoky Mountains coming to your town promos. I like the localized promos that we're gonna get to
Yeah.
watch too. Because sometimes localized promos, it's a promo that you probably forgot. Maybe there might be something funny or silly or stupid in there. Um, this one is coming to your town is Bob Caudle with little Danny Davis. He's Nitro. He's Nitro Danny Davis. He's Nitroglycerin.
How many times is he gonna tell us that you might remember me as Nightmare Danny Davis, but now
Yeah.
I'm Nitro Danny Davis.
Okay,
Like
we
a
get
little
it.
bottle of nitroglycerin. We understand, buddy.
We know what you're
Stop it.
going for.
We get it. Settle the fuck down.
Uh, um, and then Bob Armstrong says he's negotiating with talent all over the world to come into Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Rip
Yes.
Rogers still doing the squats on the chair. Wonder how they what they did there with the crowd as far as the
I'm
live
not
crowd
sure.
goes.
One thing though is one thing they did cool, and if you listen to like the commentary, there's points where like they're commentating and you can hear um Rip counting
Yeah.
in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So he might have did it. I mean the dude was in shape motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he might have fucking did it. You never know.
Maybe. um.
And oh, go ahead.
Well, and I mean,
Sorry.
I guess if you think about it, with the promos, not but the localized promos, the commercials, the ads for uh me for to do a quote unquote a whole show, he might have only had to do half hour, 35 minutes. It's not a full hour when you're taping it,
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe he did do it. And if he did, good job.
Yeah. But Rip, like you said, Rip's still doing his free squats, and Bob Armstrong announces the tag team title tournament starts in 2 weeks, and um, then Bob Armstrong is going to ban Ron Wright from ringside unless he gets a steady um, talent to manage. And then Ron Wright comes out and tries the sympathy route that he's just a poor old man that's trying to make a living and make some money to like replace his hip, and he's got a bad knee, and like every week there's another fucking ailment for this guy, and Bob Armstrong is trying to interfere with him, trying to get better, and he's just a good old Christian athlete with a good old Christian man that's trying to heal his ailments so he can get the money to get surgery, and then Bob Armstrong ends up grabbing the handles of his wheelchair and rolling
Yeah.
him away.
It was a fantastic visual
Yes.
of
Yes.
um Armstrong just I mean, because the whole time Ron Wright's just a bitching and pitching a bitch the whole time as it's such what do I want to say? It's I don't like to use the word because it's not what I'm trying to say, but it is cartoon. Like it's not like cartoon when you say Vince McMahon has a wrestling plumber. It's cartoon like the pantomiming and the overreaction and it's
Yes.
like pro wrestling comedy at its this is what where I say you can have comedy in wrestling as long as you do it right.
It's Gorilla throwing Bobby out of the fucking WWF.
Yeah.
It's not like the same thing, but it's that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like this loudmouth, obnoxious fucking guy, and this other guy that's known him for fucking years. And it's not on the same level because it wasn't WWF, but regional wise, like people in Tennessee have watched Bob Armstrong and Ron Wright have issues forever. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
forever. Hmm.
So it's like this guy being like, "Oh, I'm the nicest guy in the world. I've never hurt nobody." And the one guy in the building be like, "You know what, motherfucker? I know you better than anybody else. Get the fuck out of
You're
here.
full of shit.
You full of shit, motherfucker." So yeah, it was fun.
Bob Cottle then interviews Paul Orndorff, and Paul Orndorff's a little upset about the fact that he can't use the pile driver
Yeah.
in Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
I like what they're doing with Paul too, because like he came into the promotion, he's like this baby face, and he comes in to be looks like the baby face, good guy wrestler, and then he finds out like his moves banned, and like slowly each week he's just like, you know what, this is bullshit.
I don't like it around here.
Like it's a subtle. Like he did. I like the fact that he just didn't come in right away and be like, "This is bullshit." You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like
yeah.
his character is every week is getting more and more annoyed. The fact that he can't use his fucking move.
And then he goes over Barry Horowitz in a enhancement match.
Yes, and during the match, they don't really talk much about. I mean, they talk about Paul Orndorff, but Dutch is bitching about Brian Lee and how Brian Lee's not a great guy. And he says Brian Lee hates children, animals, and Baskin Robbins ice cream. Like all of those things are great, and this guy just hates all of them.
It's like we talked about before, and this is good for Brian Lee that they put him in the feud with the guy that's on heel commentary. You know, we talked about it before. Like when you think of WWF in like 94, 95, you think one of the biggest feuds in the world is Bret Hart and Jerry Lawler because every week Jerry Lawler's on commentary talking shit about Bret
Like
Hart.
shit about Bret Hart. Yep.
Yeah. Um, let me see here. Oh, Jim Cornette then joins. Oh, sorry. Bob Cottle interviews Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette, goes on a little tirade about Bob Armstrong and how he's going to be bringing his tag team in. And Bob Armstrong's telling him he needs to tell us who his tag team is, but he doesn't want to until the tag team tournament starts. And
Which Cornette's logic on it is, if I tell you now, all the other teams are going to drop out, and then you won't even have a tournament.
mm-hmm. um, Jim Cornette then joins Bob Cottle on commentary because Dutch Mantell is going to be at ringside for our main event of Carl Styles versus AJ Lee. Brian Lee. It's AJ
AJ
Styles.
Lee.
It's AJ Styles versus AJ Lee. It's Styles versus Lee. No, it's Carl Styles versus Brian Lee.
Yes.
And of course, Brian Lee is distracted the whole match because he wants to get his hands on Dutch Mantell. So he continually through the match, every time he like has Carl does it make Brian Lee a dummy? Maybe. Every time he has Carl Styles in a precarious position or has him down and out, he instead of trying to pin the man, he goes after Dutch Mantell. So he's allowing himself to be distracted, in my opinion. Like kind of a
Well, I
moron.
mean, the I guess the logic of it could be is that this guy's talking all this shit about him, and he's not allowed to touch him when he's on commentary.
Right.
So if he can take out Carl Styles, he can at least get his hands on
Get his
Dutch.
hands on
I mean, that's
Mantell.
the yeah, that's the logic of it. But yeah, it's like why not just pin the guy and then attack and then attack Dutch? But anyway,
The match itself is what it is. Like I said, it's a lot of distraction from Dutch. The story of the match isn't necessarily the match, but it's the fact that Dutch is out there and Brian Lee is trying to get his, like Aaron said, get his hands on him because he's not in his commentating position at this time. Brian Lee wins the match with a power bomb. Excuse me. Dutch Mantell comes in afterwards. And then Brian Lee pretty much clears out the heels, chases them off. But keeping the feud alive here.
yes.
Like I said, I didn't really have a opinion one way or the other on the actual in-ring action. It was more a story-based match than a match,
Yeah.
you know.
Which who really wants to watch a one-on-one 15-minute match with Brian Lee versus Carl Styles?
Nobody.
So nobody. So that's what needed to happen. And then Jim Cornette mocks the fans in the arena and hypes some Smoky Mountain live events. And then we get to the end of the show. Hustler Riff Rogers is doing his free squats, and then Tim Horner comes out, and I'll let you tell him what this guy does.
Essentially what happens is Tim Horner comes out with his I'll give you the $500 to hold that whole shtick. And then he asks um, Bob Cottle, what do we got here? And Bob Cottle's like, oh, we got 59:30. So he's pretty much saying, we got 30 seconds left and Rip Rogers is going to win the $500. And then this asshole, Tim Horner, who's supposed to be the baby face, this asshole kicks the chair out from under Rip Rogers so he doesn't get to do his squats for the entire hour. He was like 25 seconds away from being done. How am I supposed to like Tim Horner in this situation? You know what I mean? Like, what an asshole.
When I watched him do it, you know what I thought? I thought, oh, Tim Horner, he's shameless.
Oh, that's going to translate here later on.
Some foreshadowing, everybody. But that's how we end the show. Is this guy's supposed to be the big baby, like the second baby, the second, how do you the number two baby face in the company, just did some shitty, crappy stuff. Yeah. Fuck Tim Horner.
Yeah. So 3/7/92, Tim Horner. What an asshole.
Yeah. Fucking shameless, man.
So now we roll on to our next episode. It is March 14th, 1992. Of course, Bob Cottle and Dutch Mantell do the intro to the show. Carl Stiles is there with Dutch Mantell. I didn't write down anything that they said really at the beginning of the show. I don't know if you did.
No, they were just.
I just wrote down pretty much an intro. And then Hector Sombrero Guerrero.
I like calling him Hector Gomez Guerrero because, like, the first episode is like Hector Gomez. I just totally messed up Hector there.
I love that he just acknowledged it too. Like, sorry
totally
about that. I totally messed up that name there.
It's Hector Gomez Guerrero versus TJ Travis.
Hector Gomez Guerrero with the big sombrero.
Yeah.
Versus TJ Travis.
And basically during the match, they're talking about Hector being this fired up baby face, this Latin superstar. And the only note I have of other than that is they hype that Ron Wright has an upcoming surprise. Apparently Ron Wright has finally found his new charge so he can actually, like, roll out to ringside and start making some scratch.
Yes.
Start getting ready. To get his hip and knee and sciatica fixed.
Sciatica.
Yeah.
Hector Guerrero wins the match with the jalapeno roll.
Yes.
Hey, guess what's next? Danny Davis.
Oh,
Oh, no. Go
ahead. No. Nitro Danny Davis.
Oh, yeah, because I wrote down here, hey, guess what? Danny Davis, he's Nitro Glycerin. He used to be the Nightmare. You may know him as the Nightmare.
You might remember me as the Nightmare. Okay. Not me no more. I'm now Nitro. I'm like a little bottle of Nitro Glycerin. You shake me up, buddy, I'm going to explode. I understand that you remember me as the Nightmare, but that ain't me no more.
I need you to forget all about that.
Forget all about it.
Even though I'm going to remind you about it.
The only way this would have been great is, like, the entire time he's like, I'm not the Nightmare. I'm not that guy no more. I'm Nitro Danny Davis.
Like 4 years later.
I'm a good guy, and then, like, he's doing this for like 3 months. And then he just becomes like the biggest bastard in the company. Like, oh, he's lied to us for 3 months. Anyway.
The Fantastics cut a promo about how they have the Koloffs and Jimmy Golden in a 6-man tag team match next week. And they have a partner. They have a mystery partner.
Oh, do they? I'm looking forward to it.
Then we get Rocky Patterson, Reno Riggins, and Ben Jordan. Versus the Koloffs and Jimmy Golden. Ben Jordan, another one of those WCW Saturday Night jobbers,
Yes.
like Pat
Reno
Rose.
Riggins too.
Hmm.
Um, oh, go ahead.
Reno Riggins did a lot of jobs in the WWF too.
Yeah, he was on a lot of them. A lot of them. I don't want to say they're boring, but a lot of them like,
The
um,
'94 Raws.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when Raw was almost becoming like All-Star Wrestling there for a little bit. It's
Hmm.
like, oh, WWE, you're
Oh,
good. WWF, you're good,
I
but this
say it
is
all the time.
it's a
I
little
say it
rough.
I say it all the time. There were a few really, really amazing like matches on pay-per-view, couple really good matches on TV, but '94 is fucking boring in the WWF in the long run.
Yeah,
It's so
it's a little
boring.
rough.
But
It's
yeah,
a little rough.
Reno Riggins did a lot of those Raw tapings.
Yeah, him and Ken Raper.
And that oh God. Well, obviously Mike Sharp. Then what was that?
Yeah.
What was that big something Gore? Anyway, can't remember that guy's name. That big, good, big dude with the mullet. I just remember him having an enhancement match with Typhoon. L.A. Gore, that was his name.
Yeah, LA Gore.
L.A.
Yeah,
Gore. I don't
yeah.
know why. I don't know why his enhancement match with Typhoon sticks out in my head, but it just does. Anyway,
Um, and I don't know. I can't remember if I asked this the last recording that we did, but do you think, and I know he didn't um last as long, obviously, and have as much significance to the entire run of Smoky Mountain,
mhm.
but do you think Uncle Ivan is like the Terry Funk of early Smoky Mountain Wrestling?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this guy was WWWF This is the guy that beat Bruno San Martino.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and he's here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's at this. He's a living legend, and he's in this promotion, and he's putting over the younger stars of this promotion. And yeah, I mean, I can see that.
I know it was a totally different way they were doing it because
Hmm.
Terry was like, the face or whatever, but you could put Ivan Koloff's name on a poster. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? It's
yeah.
oh, Ivan Koloff, come here and see him, the guy that beat Bruno San Martino and shit like that. So yeah.
Hmm. And he's only I mean, and like you said, he's as far as the poster goes, he's still a marketable star because he's only a couple of years off Crockett TV. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, definitely.
I just
But
could go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Koloff had a hell of a fucking career.
Oh yeah, you did.
um, Then, of course, the Koloffs and Golden win the 6-man tag match. They cut a promo on the match with the Fantastics next week. We get a recap of what we talked about from the last episode with Ron Wright being banned from ringside until he could get a man that he could manage. Well, he says that was a disgrace, but he has a man that he's managing.
Yeah. It's fucking awesome.
And the next match has his new protege in it. It is Ricky Nelson against the dirty white boy, Tony Anthony.
Yeah. Fucking dirty white boy. Fucking underrated. Fucking awesome.
Definitely underrated.
And I don't understand why they fucking made him TL Hopper. I don't
I don't either,
fucking.
especially with the fact that Jim Ross and Jim Cornette were both in the office.
Oh, I know they probably fucking hated it.
Hmm.
Um,
Like maybe Cornette should have given him the advice that he gave D'Lo Brown.
I think the only reason he probably didn't was because Tony Anthony had been around for a long time,
Hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
and D'Lo was just starting. So I think that was part of it. Was like, I bet it was like a flip. I bet it was Cornette telling D'Lo, like, "You're really good. You're really young. Don't do this." And probably telling Tony Anthony, be like, this is
This is
gonna
your
be your time to
opportunity.
get a good fucking payday.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you're probably not gonna get another chance to be in the WWF.
Also, since this is the
Is
first
the only
time
way I can look at it.
we've seen him on the show so far, first time we got a chance to mention him, I just want to make mention of the fact that I remember many moons ago, because we always talk about how, we were kids, we grew up in the 80s and the 90s. We saw what was on our TV. There's a lot of shit that we didn't get to see until, we got into our 20s and 30s and we had the internet and we had YouTube and we had the network and there's so much shit that you didn't get to watch that you have watched now. Anyway, I didn't get to see early 80s Mid-Atlantic when I was younger. But I'll tell you what, man, the first time I got to watch some early 80s Mid-Atlantic and Tony Anthony was on there and he had that afro, I laughed my fucking ass off. I was like,
Yeah,
Look at Tony Anthony's afro.
big afro.
I don't know. I distinctly remember that moment. First time he shows up, I was like, holy shit, look at the fro on Tony Anthony.
I think it's funny anytime a white guy has an afro. I don't know why,
uh,
but it's a white guy with an afro is fucking funny to me.
well, Tony Anthony beats Ricky Nelson here.
Especially when it's a Jewish guy because I love the term Jewfro.
Jufro.
Yeah. Anyway,
Tony Anthony beats Ricky Nelson. Now Ron Wright says he might need his heart surgery. So might need heart surgery. Dirty White Boy can't believe
open heart surgery.
yeah, open heart. I just wrote down heart, but yes, open heart surgery. This poor man.
Yes.
And the Dirty White Boy can't believe that it took all this time and no one would help Ron Wright, but now he's here. He's here
Yes.
to help Ron Wright and do his bidding and make money for Ron Wright so he can have his surgeries.
Get his sciatic fixed, his knee, his hip, and get open heart surgery.
And these two right here is the beginning of something special.
Yes.
Hollywood Bob Holly then comes on and he wants to reassure us, no matter what we've read in the magazines, no matter what we've seen in the newspapers, him and Julia Roberts are just good friends.
Yeah, he's the reason he isn't the reason she isn't getting married. They're just really, really good friends.
Jerry Lynn is in our next match.
Yes, he is. And he's against a weird dude, man.
Weird dude.
Yeah,
He's
weird, man. I
coming
just
out
don't understand. He's just
coming
a
out to the
weird
docile
dude.
tones of Green Onions.
He's a weird dude, man. He's got that weird music.
Got that weird violin case.
Hey, Hell's Kitchen, that's weird. What's
What's
called
in
Hell's
that
Kitchen?
violin
That's weird.
case?
What's in that box? What's in the box?
What's in the
What's in there?
box?
What's in the box?
Yes, Jerry Lynn versus Killer Kyle.
And Killer Kyle ends up beating Jerry Lynn with the move they have now dubbed the rub out, which I don't like. I don't like that, man. That's weird, man.
That is
What's it called? The
weird,
rub
man.
out. That's weird, man.
Gotta rub one out. What?
You know, rub one out. Dum, 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 dum,
Yeah.
dum, dum,
This is weird, man.
That's weird.
All right.
I did the fucking wrong theme song.
I knew what you were alluding to, though.
Yeah. Should have been his theme song. That would have made more sense. But anyway. Yeah, Killer Kyle, he rubs out Jerry Lynn.
We get an interview with Terry Gordy. He's not a man. There is not a man in Smoky Mountain that can't beat him or that can beat him. And he does this. I don't know. I like Terry Gordy, but I don't like this. There's going to be bombs dropping everywhere.
Yeah, was this the bombs promo?
Yeah.
We dropping bombs on this. And he keeps calling it Smoky Mountain Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop the bombs. I'm Smoky Mountain Championship Wrestling. It's like, okay, settle down, buddy.
Rip Rogers cuts a promo.
The big baby face.
Yeah.
Cuts a baby face promo.
Tim cuts the big yes.
Again, he cuts a promo on shameless Tim Horner.
Tim Horner owes him $500, and you know what? Tim Horner does owe him $500.
He does owe $500 fucking dollars. Yeah, but take out your ass, Tim Horner. Fucking piece of shit.
You got lust in your eyes. But yeah, the next match is Rip Rogers versus Tim Horner. This match was fine.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Tim Horner wasn't bad. He was just boring and terrible at promos.
Yeah.
Like, in the ring, bell to bell, Tim Horner was a decent worker.
Yeah, the match eventually goes outside the ring. Rip Rogers tries to pile drive Horner on the concrete. That does not happen. They're back in the ring. Yeah. They have like a collision in the ring.
It doesn't happen every match, but every once in a while, Dutch will hit like a really good line. I always want to write them down when he does it. Mm-hmm. And they're talking about the fans, and Dutch says that the women in this territory are so ugly they couldn't even make it into a biker mag.
Jesus.
Like, they're not even good enough to be in like Easy Rider. Fucking sloppy bitches.
There's only one guy in this there's only one guy that could rub one out to these girls.
And he's weird, man.
He's weird, man.
He's weird, man. That's probably something he likes. He likes them sloppy jalopies, man. He's weird.
Tim Horner wins this match with a sunset. Tim Horner wins this match with a sunset flip. Bob Caudle, then after that, like I said, good match between Horner and Rip Rogers. Bob Caudle does an interview with Bob Armstrong about Jim Cornette. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, he says Jim Cornette must unveil his new tag team, and Jim Cornette says he'll show him next week.
Yes, we'll have a video. He'll have a video next week.
Yeah,
featuring his new tag team coming in for the tournament. And that is episode for the March 14th, 92, which we're going to call Killer Kyle Rubs One Out. All right, now we move on to Smoky Mountain Wrestling at March 21st, 1992. Of course, Bob Caudle and Dutch Mantell welcome us to the show. And our first matchup on this episode is Joe Kazana against Rock and Roll Robert Gibson.
Yeah, Joe Kazana, the fucking a human potato. That's what I think he looks like. He looks like a peeled potato. That's what he looks like.
The peeled potato, Joe Kazana against Robert Gibson. Pretty much a standard just enhancement match for Gibson. I didn't write anything down about commentary on that one, unless you did.
There wasn't any.
All right. Well, Bob Caudle then talks to Bob Armstrong on the tag team tournament coming up. And you know what? It's funny because I just went through, because sometimes, like, if there's stuff on the screen, like when we did the Clash of the Champions or like this, like if they put something up on the screen, I'll just take a picture of the screen. That way I don't have to quickly write down. And for some reason, I don't know if I accidentally deleted or what. I had taken a picture of the brackets. I know I did.
Well, I am a professional.
No, and you actually wrote it down. Okay.
Yes. So mine says Bob Armstrong announces the tournament, and then
Thanks
there's
for
an arrow
saving
that
my
says
ass.
see other page. So that's what I did. And the Smoky Mountain Tag Team Tournament consists of 8 tag teams. So there will be 4 opening round matches, and these matches are the Maulers, who are going to be facing Johnny and Davey Rich. And there will also be the Fultons, Fantastics, whatever you want to call them, versus the Wild Bunch. And then the Koloffs versus Danny Davis and Joey Maggs. And the Batten Twins versus Jim Cornette's Mystery Team. So that's the tournament that's coming up.
Um, and the then they show us a video. Speaking of the Wild Bunch, of footage from the Wild Bunch wrestling in Japan. Um, to the of course tune of Born to Be Wild. Billy Black, the Billy Black guy, like I didn't know a lot about him for a lot of my wrestling fandom. And I knew, obviously I've seen this stuff from Smoky Mountain or whatever. And what actually made me go back and watch a lot of this stuff from Japan with these guys was Chris
Looking
Zellner.
awesome.
Yeah, Chris Zellner talked about I don't know, there was an episode of Between the Sheets or something or maybe it was, I don't remember. It might have been anyway, it was some show that Chris Zellner was on, and he's from Georgia, and Billy Black is, and he was talking up Billy Black and blah blah blah. So I went and watched. These guys were a hell of a fucking team, and Billy Black was a hell of a fucking worker.
Yeah, both of them were. Joel Deaton was good too. Like I I got like a couple different notes where I'm like, what could have been with these fucking guys, man? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know why they didn't fucking. I don't know why they didn't. I know one of them, Cornette, said like he didn't like to travel, but
Okay.
he was like, "You're just driving like 2 hours, man. Just
Right.
fucking do it." And it was like snow, or like it snowed like an inch of snow, and he was afraid to drive and whatever. But I'm like, yeah, the fucking Wild Bunch, they were fucking awesome. They showed, and it was like footage of them and Johnny Ace, and I think uh, Kenta Kabushi, I think it was who they were fighting. But
Mhm.
yeah, like that fucking team was good, man. And when you look at the guys, you're like, I don't think this is gonna be
Yeah,
a
that's what I'm
long
saying.
career.
Like you expect like
Yeah,
they look
they
like a
they
couple of.
looked like they looked like disorderly conduct, and they worked like the Bulldogs. What the fuck is going on?
We're going to be seeing them in action in this tag team championship tournament.
Yes,
Up next, it is Hector. It is Hector Gomez
Gomez
Guerrero with the big
Guerrero
sombrero
Sombrero
against
versus Keith Hart.
Keith Hart. I wrote down versus a Keith Hart. In this
Not the
promotion,
Keith Hart.
we have a Keith Hart. We also have a Bret Hart in this
Yes.
promotion, Barry Horowitz. But anyway,
How about Ricky Nelson? That's not really Ricky Nelson.
right, we have a Ricky Nelson. There's Jack Pfeffer around here somewhere. And Hector Guerrero defeats this a Keith Hart with the jalapeno roll, and then they hug after the match. A lot of
Did I
times,
ask you something?
a
Go
lot of
ahead,
times you
sorry.
see guys shake hands, but rarely do you see them hug after the match. They're hugging it out.
Did I ask you something?
Mm-hmm.
Just to be, do you like Hector Guerrero?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you not?
He's
I don't
good,
like.
but it's like
I don't like Hector as much as I like Chavo and Eddie, but I like Hector.
I don't know. He's just not my cup of tea. Like it's like he does that lucha that's just it's like I don't know. Feels too choreographed sometimes. I don't know. It is what it is. Like when I watch Hector, I'm just like, okay, that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's like, if I never see him again, I'm all right.
Right. No, and it's like Chad said. we discussed a little bit on the last episode, like, unfortunately for him also, I Eddie and Chavo came along in the '90s just when Hector was like, he's coming in here, maybe could make it on the national scene at some point. And then, when your fucking brother's Eddie fucking Guerrero, I don't know, it's hard to stand
Yeah.
out.
I don't know.
It's hard to
I don't know. I don't know if what
put
I'm trying to say makes sense, but
No,
like,
no, it does. It does. I put down next one of the coming to your town promos, but it's Bob Caudle with all the big baby faces of the promotion,
yeah,
and Tim Horner standing there in the most ridiculous zebra pants. I mean, these pants were more ridiculous than Road Warrior Hawk's pants.
they yeah. Um, Other than the Fantastics, which um, I actually like Jackie Fulton. I thought Jackie Fulton was a. I like Jackie Fulton,
Mhm.
but like Tim Horner and Brian Lee, it's like, ugh. Brian Lee was a. I don't know. I don't know if you ever heard him talk about it, but Brian Lee was like the second choice. He wanted it to be Brad.
I
Yeah,
never did hear. I never heard that. No.
yeah, he talked about it, but Brad was making too much in WC. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Brad was just making too much money in WCW. He couldn't leave that fucking deal.
But I'm not
Yeah,
saying, and
his whole like Cornette's first, unless I heard it wrong or misremembering it, the whole idea was for Brad Armstrong to be the big baby face.
I'm not going to get too deep into it because I don't want to jump way too ahead in the promotion. But you can tell that Brian Lee was second fiddle in Jim Cornette's mind, because the minute Jim Cornette gets his hand on Tracy Smothers,
Yeah,
he quickly moves Brian. Not that he moves him like to be in a job or anything, but he quickly moves Brian Lee to second tier. We'll get into that later. But yeah, no, you can totally tell. Like, this wasn't this wasn't the guy he necessarily wanted to be the top guy, but for who he had at this time, for what they could do and how the commitment they could make or whatever, this was who he
yeah,
had to roll with.
yeah,
And the people liked him. And,
yeah.
you can't argue with that. Well, now it's time for Jim Cornette. He says, he says, Bob Caudle's with Jim Cornette, and he's talking about how he's about to present the video where he's going to show his tag team. He says, looking at this crowd, he feels like he's in a green room at an acid flashback, which was a good line. And then
Yes.
I didn't catch the name. What's the name of the guy that's like with Cornette? What's the name of this reporter?
It's Phil Rainey.
Okay. I didn't remember his name, and I didn't write
I
it
think Phil.
down.
I don't know a lot about Phil Rainey, but I'm thinking he was a local like broadcast news guy or whatever,
Weatherman.
kind of like Lance, where it's like,
Hmm.
yeah, we could use this guy on it. And um, they're driving to um, the training camp of his team, which is Hooters.
Yeah, he
And did
rented out a
you?
Hooters.
That's their training facility. And the limo is being driven by. Did you hear who Cornette said his limo
Herd.
driver's name was?
It was
Herd.
Herd.
Pull over, Herd. We're here, Herd. What's wrong with you? So
Yes.
Jim Cornette degrades Herd, and they pull into the Hooters parking lot, and then Jim Cornette tries to unveil them, but they get mobbed by Hooter girls, and they block his team. And Jim Cornette says he'll try again next week.
And that the Paul Rainey guy's like, I can't do this. I can't do this. Like, what? What's your problem? Have some chicken
You
wings.
know, like like chicken wings and titties. What's wrong with you?
But yeah, so we got the tease, but we don't get to see the tag team. Join us next week. There's a hook for next week. Next week we'll actually show you
Yes.
the tag team. And then Bob Holly, fame. He's going to face Paul Miller. I put down here.
Paul Miller was no good.
Well, no, I put down Paul Miller vanquished the Black Scorpion, but since then he hasn't done very well. Because if you remember,
Yeah.
on week one, what was it, week 1 or week 2, he vanquished the jabroni Black Scorpion.
Yeah, this guy beat Ric Flair, but he can't beat Bob Holly.
And he's also
This
he's
week,
one of those guys that's built funny.
yeah,
Paul
and he
Miller.
sucked. Like in this match, he was terrible. Like if this guy would have fought like 2000 Bob Holly, he would have been fucking murdered.
He'd wound
Just
up like
saying,
Daniel
like,
Pewter.
yeah, he would have been fucking dead if Bob would have been at the position he was later on in his career. But yeah, this Paul Miller, he did no good here. No good.
Um,
Holly ends up beating him with his
yeah.
star drop kick.
Then Bob Cottle he's standing by with the Dirty White Boy and Ron Wright. And people just aren't getting behind Ron Wright. They don't understand why not.
Yeah. Dirty White Boy is sick that people aren't sending him money. Just sick to
I don't
death.
understand.
Yeah.
Bob Cottle and Dutch Mantel go once again to go over the tag teams that are in the tournament. And up next was something that happens here made me laugh my fucking ass off. But it is the Maulers, who people may know as the Royal Family from WCW.
Remember when they were managed by a little midget? What was that midget's name?
Fuck.
He was the one that was Lord Littlebrook.
Yes, Lord Littlebrook.
Yeah, I liked that gimmick. We had a little midget manager. That was fun. Go ahead, sorry.
Of course, it's Rick Morgan and Jacko Victory. And they are facing the Riches. And I don't know why I thought it was so funny that they came out to Too Legit to Quit. Like these guys coming out to hammer. I don't know.
Well, weren't they? They were the Party Patrol. They sucked. But it said ask Chad and Nate, but Chad's not here. Yay or nay on Jack Victory? Because I'm yay. I like Jack Victory.
I like Jack Victory. I like Jack Victory for a few different reasons. Number one, Jack Victory is like one of those wrestling chameleons. Like he was one of those guys that was underrated in the fact that he could do whatever whatever you asked him to do. He could be Jack Victory with John Tatum with the feather boa and blah blah blah. He could be fucking Secret Service Jack Victory. He could work 4 times on the Clash of the Champions under different hoods. Jack Victory is like he's like the last like territory type. You know what I mean? Like territory type wrestler. Like
you know what I think. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, she's like just this hand that could do whatever you fucking asked him to do, and he always pulled it off.
You know what I think? I put this down. You know what I think he is, or when I think of him, he's the non WWF Steve Lombardi.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck you want me to do.
Whatever you need me to do this week, I'm gonna fucking do it. Just as long
and
as
it
you
ain't gonna look
me.
bad at all. It ain't gonna look bad at all. It ain't gonna fucking set the world on fire.
Yeah.
But it ain't gonna be bad either.
Yeah, you're right.
Lombardi you want me to fucking do.
On one taping, Lombardi would be fucking. He'd do a job as the brawler, and then he'd be Abe Knuckleball Schwartz.
Then he'd be a doink.
And he'd be a doink.
Whatever you want me to do.
Then he'd be a doink.
Whatever you want me to do, man.
And he agents a couple matches.
Yeah, whatever you want me to do, man.
But yeah, and
I don't give a fuck.
I'm the same. I like Rip Morgan too. I like Jack Victory and I like Rip Morgan.
I liked the Royal Family, Maulers, whatever you want to call them. I thought they were a cool team, and I don't know why they didn't do more with them. But
I agree. Yep, we're in total agreement about these guys. Of course, during the match, Dutch Mantel says that they're not the royal family anymore because them and the Queen of England have disowned each other.
Yes.
It's like the Queen has disowned them. He's like, the Queen disowned them, and they have
They were
said
like,
they
"We disown
disowned
you,
her.
bitch.
Yeah, pretty much.
You little bitch.
Oh, bitch.
You little bitch."
But yeah, I agree with you that I'm not a big fan of the Riches. Um, oh man, there's like I like Continental. I like to watch Continental. And like one of my least favorite things about Continental is that when they always wanted to use Johnny Rich as one of their top baby faces. I cannot get into Johnny Rich.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Maulers win this match. The match isn't terrible. The Maulers, not the Rawlers, the Maulers win the match. When Rip Morgan cracks, I think it's Johnny Rich with his boot, so that Jack
Doesn't
Victory
matter which one it is.
can get the win, and the Maulers advance in the tag team tournament. And then I put down here, Aaron's going to be really happy about this next thing.
Yes. The Fultons say they have found their 6-man tag team partner, and it is fucking Tommy Rogers,
Tommy
which is
Rogers.
fucking awesome. Tommy Rogers is one of the best fucking workers that just doesn't get talked about enough. He's fucking great. And um I think it's the first and maybe only time that all three of the Fantastics are together.
And you know what?
And I
I just have to mention, speaking of riches, for the record, Aaron and I in our small little fucking podunk town in Ohio got to watch Tommy Rogers wrestle Tommy Rich
yeah, that was
in our
fucking awesome.
armory at an indie show in like what 2002 or something. I don't remember.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
fucking awesome. Tommy Rich says, "Excuse me."
you gotta get a cigarette.
Yeah, and I bummed a cigarette from Nate.
Tommy Rich bummed a cigarette and then went out and worked with Tommy Rogers. It was a good
Yeah,
day.
he had an escort. If I remember that,
He
pulled
did.
up in an escort. Yeah,
Of course, he came out to the Bee Gees. It was a
yeah, it
good
was a
day.
good
It's a
time.
good
It was a
day.
good time, man. But Jimmy Golden, he's gonna have to face the three Fantastics.
I love this.
But but his tag team partners aren't there because they
Yes.
both had to go back to Russia because they're both having babies.
Yeah, their wife. He says the Koloffs can't be here tonight. Both their wives are having babies.
Fucking Ivan Koloff's like 67 years old. I know he's not that old, but you know
It
what I
is
mean.
it is one of the best heel excuses for somebody not showing up of all fucking time.
Yeah. They're both having both their wives are having babies. So they've had to go back to Russia.
Ah, shit.
And um he tries to cancel the match, but Bob Armstrong won't let him. So it turns into Jimmy Golden and the Wild Bunch versus the three Fantastics. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this just got so much better. Because it's 6 guys that fucking know what they're doing.
um, yeah, and I put down here it becomes a 6-man tag team match, and I don't have a lot about the match because it was fun to watch. I don't know if you have any specific spots that stuck out to you, but
I don't. It's,
the Fantastics do win the 6-man. Becomes a big schmoz after the match.
yes.
Tim Horner gets involved.
Yeah.
It's kind of like um back on the ECW show when we had like an
Put upon
episode.
Tommy.
Well,
Like, what do you
no,
need to be out here for? Oh, okay.
yeah, Tommy Cairo. Like, what does Tommy Cairo
Yeah.
have to do with any of this?
Yeah.
It's Tim Horner. What does Tim Horner have to do with any of this?
And then one thing I did like was Bob Armstrong. is basically like Jimmy Golden can be back and the Fantastics are back. The Koloffs, they still haven't paid their $500, so
Yeah.
they're banned until they give me their like. I don't care if they're in Russia having babies; they still haven't given me their $500. So they're banned until they give me that $500 each.
You still owe Big Perm some money.
Yeah, you fuck with my money, you fuck with my emotions.
Big Perm Bob Armstrong. That's gonna be the episode. That's
Fucking-
March
I
21st. March
was close,
21st. It's like, yeah, Ivan Kolos like 20,
$20,
40,
20,
60, 80.
60, 80, flip it, 100.
Vladimir's over there shitting in the bushes.
I don't know why Ivan being smoky is what's funny.
Oh shit. That is March 14th, 1992. Big
You ever
Perm
seen
Bob
there's
Armstrong.
oh, there's somebody that did something with AI and they took Elvis Presley and
Mhm.
Johnny Cash and made them do Friday, like scenes from Friday.
Fuck. That's
Like Johnny
enough.
Cash is like looking at Elvis like, "How you get fired on your day off stealing boxes? What are you making a fucking clubhouse?"
Oh
Yeah, just
man.
if Elvis and Johnny Cash run Friday.
Good God. Yeah. Y'all ain't never got a son of nothing in this house.
Well, they do that. It's
No.
fucking Elvis. It's fucking Elvis. That one's Elvis bitching at Johnny. You got nothing in here, man. You got ham, no burger,
Kool-Aid, no sugar. Ham, no
Kool-Aid, no
burger.
sugar, ham, no burger. Anyway,
All right, our last episode for this show is March 27th, 1992. Of course, Bob Cottle and Dutch Mantel do the intro. They talk about the singles, the Smoky Mountain Wrestling Championship tournament upcoming.
I have those too.
Well, that's good because I don't think I have that either.
I do.
Um, but it is the opening match for this episode. Actually, I have this match. This episode must not have had a whole ton of stuff on it because this is like the shortest notes that I have. But anyway, um, Dirty White Boy, of course, with Ron Wright. He faces Joey Maggs in the opening matchup and gets the victory.
Yes.
And then Bob
Um,
Cottle. Oh, go ahead.
I was to say Ron Wright demands that his PO box for Mr. Wright's operation be listed on screen. So now they're even posting the PO box for people to send money to. And then obviously the Dirty White Boy wins with the Buck Snort Slam.
Mm-hmm. And Bob Cottle now is interviewing Bob Armstrong, and they are discussing the heavyweight title tournament. And is this where they put up the brackets? I know this is where they announced the Volunteer Slam for May 15th in Knoxville.
Well, they didn't put up brackets per se, but they
Oh,
put
yeah,
up
yeah. Okay, I
the
have it.
top
Yeah.
5. They put up the top 5 and then the 6 wild cards. The top 5 are um, the Dirty White Boy, Brian Lee, Tim Horner, Robert Gibson, and Jimmy Golden. And then the 6 wild cards are Dixie Dynamite, Dutch Mantel, Scott Anthony, Hector Guerrero, Buddy Landell, and Mr. Wonderful.
It's funny because I didn't write down the names, but I did before you said it. I noticed that I did write down here who's already in and who are the wild cards. So, yes, and the championship is going to. I think the tournament. Did they say the tournament is the Volunteer Slam? Like, is that the tournament night?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, yes, and that's going to be May 15th. So we got a couple of months to go to get ready for that. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. We made mention of it earlier. Aaron joked about it earlier. Holy balls.
Mhm.
We
This
have
is why the
an
show's so short.
we have an entire music video. Like, not just a clip. It's the whole ass song of Tim Horner recording or singing the Garth Brooks song Shameless.
Yeah. It's very, very bad.
Mm. So cheesy.
Um,
Why did I write down Scheme Gene Producers? I don't know why I wrote that down.
I don't know why you put that down at all.
I'm gonna have to go back and look because I probably wrote it down, thought something was funny. But yeah, I wrote down Tim Horner silly video of the song Shameless, Scheme Gene Producers. I don't know what the
I
fuck
have no idea why you wrote that down. But um um and I don't like to like talk about other people's podcasts or whatever, but I mean it's fucking Jim Cornette's promotions, so you gotta go back to things you heard him say or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
But he said this is the only time that Rick Rubin ever like got mad at him about something on Smoky Mountain. Like Rick Rubin was like, I am a music producer. I am in the music industry, and you put that on a show that I'm spending money on.
We'll
And he was
never
like, I'm
do that
embarrassed.
again. Well, it was stupid, you know,
Yes.
and it was
It
lame.
was like watching a fucking insurance salesman doing fucking karaoke at a fucking bowling alley. The fuck is going on?
Now your description of that got worse as it went on.
But it was very, very bad.
Yes, it was. As you're sitting at the bowling alley eating your chicken tenders, here's this fucking
Yeah.
douchebag.
'Cause I'm shameless.
Yeah,
And the
and
most
I'm
ridiculous part is that guy thought he was doing something good.
he did.
Like
His whole career, he thought he was doing something good.
somebody told Tim Horner he could sing.
And I am going to have to go back and figure out why I wrote down Scheme Gene Producers because it's driving me nuts. After this debacle, Bob Holly, he is not going to be in the championship tournament, he tells us.
And his logic is good. Like, I think it's funny because, like, if you look at it as a wrestling character, like in a wrestling, like if it was real,
Mm-hmm.
like Bob Holly would have been like waiting to be announced into the tournament and then didn't get announced. So he was just like, you know what? I told him I didn't even want to be in the tournament because they'll just beat whoever wins it.
Yeah.
And he's wearing like crazy Florida grandma glasses as he's saying it.
After that promo, um, there's Jimmy Golden, and he faces Tommy Angel. Tommy Angel.
We don't love you. And he ends up Jimmy Golden obviously beats um Tommy Angel with his drop kick, which to go back to Jim Cornette, he told Jimmy Golden that he needed to have a finish. And Jimmy Golden was like, I'll just hit him with my drop kick. And Cornette was like, you really want it to be your drop kick? And he was like, you ever seen my drop kick? And then he hit it one night, and Jim Cornette was like, all right, that's your finish. Like Jimmy Golden's drop kick's fucking awesome, man.
Mm-hmm. It's like it's not the same, but it's like one of those. It's like watching Big Show do a drop kick. Like it's a guy that when you watch the rest of his style and everything, you wouldn't think that he would have such an amazing drop kick.
Yeah. like,
but he
okay,
fucking does. It's
okay,
like
that's your finish.
Jimmy Golden, Big Show, and Mark Jindrak. Most
Yeah,
surprising drop kicks.
yeah, fucking great shit, pal. And so Golden wins that, and then post match, Robert Gibson tries to get involved, and Jimmy Golden runs off.
And then Robert Gibson does an interview.
Yeah,
You know,
and
I love the
that's it.
Rock and Roll Express. I love Robert Gibson, but Robert Gibson definitely ain't the interview of that team.
He is not.
Um,
And
he's not like an embarrassing interview like Tim Horner. He's just, you know, I don't know
it's not his
if what
it's
I'm
not his
saying makes
forte.
sense.
It's not his forte.
Right. Yeah.
It's not what he was supposed to be there for.
What he says, he doesn't sound stupid or anything, when he's doing his own promo. He just isn't a promo guy. Kind of
Yeah,
like Benoit. It's like Benoit. Like Benoit's promo was to repeat what you just said to him 3 times. I
yeah.
can't beat you. I can't beat you. I can't beat you.
Well, I can beat you,
Well, I can
and
beat
I
you.
will, and I will.
And that's the promo.
It's Gibson's job was for Robert or for Ricky to say a bunch of shit, and then Robert be like, "That's right, Ricky. We're gonna go
Woo!
out there and we're gonna do it. We'll do what he said."
Woo! And then they do a woo together, and that's what you do.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I did write down actually on this episode the name Phil Rainey. So at some point I did know the fucking guy's name. But we're going on to the next segment of Jim Cornette trying to show us his tag team.
And they're in an undisclosed area this time,
Yes.
but it somehow got disclosed because a bunch of fat girls show up.
to swarm the limo. I put swine. I said swine the limo.
Yeah, they did.
Sorry. To swarm the limo.
They dented it all up and everything.
Jim Cornette says Phil Rainey's the problem. That's where I wrote down
Yeah.
Phil Rainey. Jim Cornette says Phil Rainey is the problem here.
And he's like, "Yeah, you stooged it." And then Dutch is upset because he's a wild card.
Yes, he's not in the he's not just in the tourney, but he's one of the wild cards.
Which I'm
Brian,
hoping. I
go ahead.
don't
No, go
remember,
ahead.
but I'm hoping that I don't remember, but I'm hoping they explain like what the difference between being in the tournament and being a wild card versus.
Yeah, because they didn't really explain it on this episode, and I haven't
Wow.
watched any of this stuff in so long I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but we'll find out.
Yes.
But now it's prime time versus the potato.
Prime time versus the potato. It's Brian Lee versus Joe Kazana. Brian Lee goes over.
Yeah, he mashes that potato with the cancellation. Fried him, man.
Nope. Sorry, you won because I can't think of another potato pun. Not right now. You're fried, man. You're fried. And then
Sliced you and diced you.
That sounds like something Razor Ramon would say to him.
And he pinned him, and he was smothered and covered. 1, 2, 3. Anyway,
after
there's
the
a
match,
lot you can do with potatoes, man.
It's a versatile. What can I say? It's a versatile food. It's a versatile root.
It's like Joe Kazana. It's very versatile.
Then we have a confrontation between Mantell and Brian Lee.
And Brian Lee says he'll put up his spot in the tournament next week, and Dutch Mantell accepts.
So that's a good way to set up the match between the two of them. because Dutch Mantel's been running chicken. He's faking sick. He's throwing
Yeah.
Styles in front of him. But now there's something on the line here that the heel really wants, and it's to be in this championship tournament. And the babyface has the perfect bait to get him in the ring. Again, good old fashioned, old school booking that fucking works.
Yep.
And then our main event is a great tag team match. It is the Wild Bunch against the Fantastics in the Tag Championship Tournament. I don't think the Wild
Yeah.
Bunch lasts very long here in Smoky Mountain.
They don't. Like I said, there was just I can't remember all the ins and out of it, but there was a drive-through or whatever where somebody asked Cornette about the Wild Bunch, and he talked about why they flaked out. And but like you said, it's a really good match. Um, Deaton and Billy Black are awesome, and so are like obviously Bobby Fulton. And like I said, I like Jackie Fulton. I mean, he never really got much of a push in the States, but he
Mm-hmm.
was really good in my opinion. And Jackie ends up rolling up Billy Black for the 1, 2, 3, and the Fantastics, Fultons, whatever you want to call them, advance to the second round.
Yes, and they're going to be facing the Maulers in the second round, which,
And the end of this is hilarious.
go ahead.
Bob Caudle ends up interviewing the Maulers on the Fantastics, and Morgan cuts this big promo, and he's like, "What do you got to say, Jacko?" And Bob Caudle's like, "We're out of time. Thanks. Good night, everybody." It completely shuts that shit down. Like nobody
Yes,
gives a fuck what you got to say, Jacko
Jacko.
Victory.
Well, I will say this to as we have finished up here, March of 1992 in Smoky Mountain Wrestling for our second episode of Pod on the Mountain. That as much as we figured when we did the first month, like we said, you're establishing names, you're establishing people. Like Aaron said, everybody can't have a feud right off the bat. You don't come on TV with your first episode of your show and say, "Hey, this guy's already our champion." You have to establish people, you have to establish characters, you have to establish storylines. And in the month of March, we got some momentum going. And I don't think any of these episodes, I mean, there were obviously the shameless video. There were things that were like, oof, but overall, not a lot of oof. This was a good month of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. I enjoyed every single episode. Everybody is doing something that is satisfactory, and like I said, the wheels are in motion. You got tournaments going on. We've announced the first big show of the Volunteer Slam in May, so the momentum is picking up for Smoky Mountain here.
Yes. Like I said, I've enjoyed it, and there's outwardly progressing things going on, and then there's like little subtle things that they're doing that I like. Like I said, I didn't notice it until I started rewatching, but like you're gonna see the ongoing subtle anger of Paul Orndorff, you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that type of stuff going on. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I like the fact that there's um I don't want to say like tournaments are a good way to like build some fucking build some heat and or build some feuds in a tournament and shit like that. Like I like what's going on.
I do
March is
too.
really good.
I totally agree. And obviously, next month's show will be we will discuss the month of April 1992 in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Aaron, did you have any parting words for our listeners this week before we sign off?
Just thanks for listening, and much like I said with reliving the extreme, if you guys like this show, please share it, comment
Mhm.
on it, rate it, do all that, and help build the audience for it. And we just hope you guys enjoyed this show too.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
As we always say, tell your friends, tell your wife, tell your mistress,
Yeah.
especially if you know old school wrestling fans that like Smoky Mountain or what have you. Let them know that we're doing this show, and it's so easy to watch the episodes with us too with this show, because you just type Smoky Mountain Wrestling into a YouTube search bar and there is a playlist where you can watch exactly what we're watching. So if you're going to watch along with us, of course, like I said, next time around at the end of this month, we will be reviewing the shows from April of 1992. Look them up on YouTube. And again, send me any feedback you have. We can't wrestle at gmail.com, or you can comment on our YouTube videos as well at the WrestleNet Radio Podcast Network page on the YouTube. And I think I've said YouTube 416 times in the past 35 seconds. So we're going to sign off. We'll see you later this week with We Can't Wrestle Podcast. And again, in a month's time for the next episode of Pod on the Mountain. Until then, everybody, it's podcast the way you like it. We'll see you next time around.